I do like administrative, because we have so much that has to be done. We have to, bring back another committee to work that, and that committee sometimes needs some training, they kind of need to know what their responsibilities are. And I don't like these things to be rushed, so I like a later date, than, like telling them tonight, 30 days from now, like we'll have a reorganization.
I like March. That way we've still got time in April. Yeah.
Someone like to make a motion for a date?
About our regular meeting.
That would be the third Thursday of March. You have a calendar to look at it. Sixteenth.
Spring break?
Is the 16th?
It's that week. I mean, not that it affects.
I think there are 5 Thursdays in March.
The
Then
23rd is the fourth, 16th is the third, 23rd is the fourth, and 30th is the last.
Fourth Thursday is your correct, right?
No, the 23rd.
anybody want to make a motion, or does anybody else want to make a comment about that? Okay.
So we talking about 16th?
Talking about March 23rd.
23rd.
So moved.
Will that work with you?
Ted made the motion.
Okay, so we have a motion second for our reorganization, meeting to be March 23rd, and I guess it's 7 o'clock. Okay. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye. All opposed, nay. Okay, motion passes. Okay, so we have to appoint the contested credentials committee, and I had already asked Debbie Heaton, who is Lucas's mom, raise your hand, Debbie, and Steve Popick, and most of you know he ran for office, to be on that committee, but I was also wanted some people to be on that committee who have done it before, because we really need a little bit of experience on that mix that would help. So I had reached out to Richard Burrows, and I know Denny Phillips, maybe was on it before, my husband was on that, but I'm gonna leave him out of the mix. And, who else was on that before? We don't remember? Penelope? Penelope was on it.
Yes, she was.
Well, those are a few more names then. I thought about Lindsay, maybe she felt up to it. Okay, that'd be great.
We got Lindsay, Steve, and
Debbie Heaton, and then the other 2 spaces, if this is acceptable, is to leave those 4. I'm waiting on a call from Richard Burrows, but I know Denny, Penelope also have, and we can look back and find out if anybody else, and maybe fill those other 2 people who have done it before. That's. Anybody else have any comments?
yeah, if we could have the young Republicans, the auxiliary, like help in some capacity, that would be great. They could get some experience in seeing what a reorganization looks like. And they could be like an ushers or other people get around, when you have a reorganization. We don't have any kind of, be
suggestion that the young Republicans rally together and also be available to help with ushering or whatever might need to happen that evening. Anybody else want to make a comment? You accepting that, maybe, our young Republican chair says, he'll accept that. Okay. We'll also have to appoint a parliamentarian, and I might ask for your help with that, Phil. It's complicated the way that the state wants us to do this. Part of the process is to vet the people like you who want to come and be present that night to vote on the next executive committee members. And so, that's the same as we vet people who want to be a bona fide Republican, run the office, you have the voting record. And if they don't have the 3 out of the last 4 August elections haven't been Republican because they've moved here from somewhere else, like you all, we'll have to get your voting record from the other state. And so that's one of the tasks they have to do, but also the state GOP has a website where, what do they call that, where you can go see people's voting record. Did anybody remember who ran for office? I do remember that it was hard to use, and it was hard to get a hold of people at the state, so I think it would be wise not to rely only on that, but to also have our own records from the election office here that is loaded on computers like we've done in the past, so that you can, but then we'll report those names to the state. Is that, you've been, Sheriff, you've been through this with the Knox County, I think, planning already, so please correct me if I'm wrong about anything.
No, that's, everything you've done is correct.
Okay.
And then once that starts, then you set up with the state where everyone can get online and register to be a part of this reorganization for Anderson County.
Okay.
On the state side.
Okay.
And the
Okay,
state,
I didn't know about that.
at the same time, the state would pull up the appointed time when you first started voting,
Okay.
registered voting.
Okay, so that's something for the committee then to work out,
Yeah.
all those details.
I'll make a motion for us to buy this from the election commission. Second.
We have a motion on the floor to buy the voter records on CD from our Anderson County Election Office. Any discussion?
Yes, the last time we did this, that record was bad. Remember, William, how?
I do remember.
Yeah, so
And we need to
we
get
have to make sure that the record that we get on the CD matches the mainframe.
Yep.
And that was a big hassle that we came across, wasn't our fault, just one of the glitches. So when we do get that record, we wanna make sure that disc matches the mainframe voting record.
So do we get it on the disc and then actually print out what they have?
We can get it on the disc, but whatever mechanism that we have to verify that disc, we don't know what that mechanism is, we have to verify it. Because the last disc we had was just,
It's a mess.
it was a mess, yeah.
That's all you can
That's
say about
something
it.
you can work on
Yeah.
later on, then,
So
is
that's-
make sure you have a computer there
Yeah.
or more than one, that it will load onto it and it'll
Yeah,
Excel.
so the committee has to look at those kinds of things.
Okay, then, we have a motion on the floor
I'll second that
to
motion.
$40 to buy that CD. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, no. Okay, the motion passes. announcing that on our website and social media. And so there is also one more thing. If anybody wants to run for the chair, that's the position I have now, you have to submit your name in advance. On the night of the reorganization, the other positions such as treasurer, secretary, vice treasurer, and vice chair, they can be nominated from the floor, but the chair has to submit their name in advance, at least 7 days prior. 7 days before the convention. So 7 days is going to be that Thursday, the 16th, that we were talking about. They'll have to submit.
In the time that you mentioned going on, I've already gone on and already registered.
Good. Well,
That's simple.
so you went to the state GOP website and found,
I've
okay,
already registered and it's been acknowledged.
okay, awesome. So that it's TNGOP, I guess, .com. Okay. Is there anything else? To be the chair or any of these, you have to be a bona fide Republican, which means you have to have voted Republican 3 out of the last 4 August elections. So that goes back 6 to 8 years that you needed to show that you've been a Republican with a voting record that length of time. And you have to be a current resident here, and registered voter. So that's for everybody. If you want to vote, you need to make sure you're a registered voter. You have to be 18 to do that, right? And if, okay, and there, one more thing, I'll put this in an email, but I believe there is already an email set up for the CNC committee, Contesting Credentials Committee, that people can communicate with the committee through it. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, we can find that. Yeah, but there is an email to do that. And not just maybe. Yeah, we all can find it.
Okay.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
Chairwoman, if we have a show of hands of people who have not been to a reorganization.
Would you raise your hand if you have not been to a reorganization meeting? Never? 2 years ago, when these have been, the last few times these were held at the courthouse, in the courtroom, and on the 3rd floor, I think. And, but now, I'm glad you brought that up, because I was thinking about discussing where to have this, and whether it would be okay, if you all feel okay with having it here, and if the pastor has it clear on his calendar for the 23rd of March, that we can have that reorganization meeting here.
The only problem will be that is this Thursday that we'll be preparing for the food pantry distribution. So that, you know, we have, as we have had all the groceries against its back wall, it will be that again.
That's gonna be on the 4th Thursday?
On the 23rd.
Okay, we'll have to think about that then, because now, the courthouse, the thing is that the courthouse, it is always so packed in there that not even everybody can sit down, and it's so stuffy, and this room is nice and big, airy, that's why I thought if we could have it here, it would be nice.
We've had the meetings here before with the line of groceries, and it didn't seem to cause much of a problem. I think some of the people actually helped help to sell some of the things in the bags.
Okay,
Just joking. Just joking.
Some of the logistics that have to take place are that, people who are voting, they didn't go into the voting area. Okay, so, if I remember correctly, is that right, Lee?
What's that?
People who are vetted, they get to go in.
Yes,
to the voting
and we
area.
did not let the other people in.
And people who are not vetted do not go in.
Right.
So we need to have like a holding city
Yeah, concession.
for those who can't get in. So we have to think about, right, if someone gets vetted, if they don't come in, what's the possibility of voting? So it has to be worked out.
We have this open area right
oh,
here.
that's right,
I
right,
think
the
those
door
double
here
doors.
is a room.
Yeah, however we wanna work that out, that's just the idea that we have to keep it.
didn't know they actually could come in. That means that all those times it was so packed wall to wall, there were more people.
They get pretty packed in, yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people will show up for that meeting, the reorganization. Did you have a comment?
No, I'm sorry, I had to stretch my neck.
Okay. Okay. Is there anything else that you think I should mention? That's all that I have on my list as far as the reorganization.
Madam Chairman,
Yes.
we're actually going to, our seventh district Chancery Court, Nicole Cantrell, she's wanting to resign. And so we want to make sure that we, of course, we will in Anderson County to support another good Republican candidate. And the governor will be making the decision. I think we'll probably have somebody in the room that may want to introduce yourself.
Okay.
Would you go up to the mic? and
Come up
go
here.
out
Daniel, are you going out for that appointment?
Yes, sir.
Would you like to come up here and
I'll be
introduce yourself?
happy to.
Another one, everybody that did here, Nikki Cantrell, she's going to resign. So we're going to pick a new Chancery Court judge. And I saw him at the meeting before. I think he'd be a great candidate.
Thank you. I wasn't expecting to. I'm already a loud voice as it is. I am going to put in the application for Chancery Court, and of course, we appreciate everyone's support. I know some of the people in the room, and so I live out in Andersonville, and the people that know me, I've had an office right down from the courthouse I've been here for 18 years now practicing, and so I do intend to apply for it, and then regardless of what the governor does, hopefully I get the appointment, but if not, I'm going to the next general election, which will be in 24, I'm going to run for it as well. So I intend to follow through regardless of what happens with Governor Lee, but hopefully that works out. Daniel Forster. I'm just right now, very easy to find. If you come down Main Street, I'm right beside the courthouse.
Dan, you go over the process for nominations, and then, as I understand it, there will be 3 nominees submitted to the governor, and he will select one of the 3. Can you go over that process?
That's correct. They actually, they posted, similar to a job posting on the AOC website, which is the Administrative Office of the Courts. And provided you're a resident of Anderson County, you go to the age of 30, a licensed attendant resident, and a licensed attorney, you can apply. Once you apply, there's actually a selection committee that consists of attorneys or retired judges that narrow down the candidates to 3 individuals, and then those 3 individuals are sent to the governor, and then each individual meets with the governor, and then I'm sure he has input from people around him, and then the governor will actually make a decision for the appointment, and then by Constitution, their Tennessee Constitution, whoever's appointed then has to still come up for election in the next general election. No, that's a good question. I appreciate you asking. I'm here, planning on being here in general for other meetings. I'm happy if anyone wants to speak or come up and talk to me at any time. I'm happy to answer questions. And just so you know, one of the reasons I am applying for it, as far as my practice goes, so everyone knows, I basically live in Chancery Court. That is primarily where my practice is out of. I've been in front of Chancellor Cantrell from the day she took the bench. I think I actually tried her very first custody trial after she was elected in the position. I've handled many cases up there, and that is primarily where my practice has always been out of. So, yes, ma'am.
Can I ask, is there anything we can do on our part to contact the governor or let things fall where they may?
Well, if you know him, I would imagine there's nothing wrong. Call him up on his cell and put it back in the seat.
No. Okay,
but-
We'll-
But no, very much, I appreciate you all calling me up tonight, and like I said, definitely appreciate everyone's support, and hopefully we end up in the office, so. Very good, thank you all very much.
I do have one more thing. Where did Robin go? Does she have the sign-in sheet? Did she pass it all over the room? Did everyone get signed in? Because I was late, so it didn't get taken taken care of the way it's usually about this out the door. Okay. Also, at the beginning of every year, the bylaws say that we're supposed to plan our schedule of meetings for the year. I think that, years ago, Anthony just started saying we're gonna meet on the third Thursday.
Because it sounded good, third Thursday.
And Black Friday was the next day.
I moved to the first Sunday.
In there. Okay. I think, it's gonna be a non-election year, and I know some people don't want to necessarily come to these meetings every month, but I still would like to leave the schedule for the third Thursday, and I communicate with you all by email, so if we're not going to be doing that, please read the emails. I try not to spam you so that you will pay attention to the ones I send. But there potentially could be some changes coming up next year. The other thing, I just wanted to say, one thing that as chair has really bothered me has been to watch people who have invested decades literally into the Anderson County Republican Party who are now disheartened with it. And I've been talking to those people and meeting with them, and there's been a lot of offense, there's been a lot of disrespect to people, even elected officials have been just very disrespected at times. And I just wanted to ask you all to work at being on the same page. You know, not everybody's going to agree about things, but you know what, conversations sometimes can help us see the other side, where we might tweak our attitude or we might tweak our understanding about somebody's position on something. And I think that's really important, and we cannot take the White House back without enough votes. We need every Republican in Anderson County and statewide and county and countrywide voting for our Republican candidate for president. We don't need to have some of our very well-respected, yet disrespected at times, people falling away from this Anderson County party. They're not here tonight, and I could begin to give you the names. And that really disappoints me. It's not okay with me. It is not okay with me for us to be a fractured party. We have got to figure out how to come back together and work around the mission and goals of this organization. This organization has a specific mission, specific goals. We cannot confront every one of the ills in our society from this room. We have to elect people, good Republicans, who can help do that in their roles. Okay, so let me just ask you, please, please put down your swords. Put down the swords. Work together. We can do it. We can work together and make a difference where it needs to happen. And I appreciate you allowing me to say that.
Could you go into a little bit of, not elaborate, but just what is the nature of the split?
Well, it's not just one split. It's been situations where people who invested many years into this organization became disheartened. I think there have been numerous things. I love President Trump. I love his backbone. That's why I like him. He's got a backbone. But he did drop a wedge in our party on some level, because there are people who just don't like his personality. And I'm not going to even say anything on that comment, left or right on that. I mean, up or down or whatever, because, like I said, I like him. But in order to bring the party back together, we've just got to figure out what we can agree on and get around that. Get around what we can agree on, and we have to be really careful because we need every vote. We need every vote. I mean, there have been things that were even written in the newspaper about people, some of our Republican elected officials. I've stood and watched someone just so disrespectful to our lieutenant governor, and I can't appreciate it. You know, it can't continue. It just can't. If we're going to be a strong party like we're supposed to be, it cannot continue. I mean, if you have disagreements with things, just, you know, you can talk about it, but you can't start picking up your sword and holding it against other Republicans. We all have got to vote Republican in order to win. Even those people that are disillusioned right now, we've got to figure out how to make peace with them. What were you saying?
I said you're gonna end up like California if you don't.
Yes.
I certainly wanna say that. This is where it started there.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Because that's what makes us lose, is when we fight against each other, just like in a church. You get factions in a church and they're fighting against each other, and what happens? They all leave. Yeah, they all leave. This one's mad at this one, and this one's mad at this one, so they all leave. And that, we need to all come together. We just have to come together and work together. And I think that was perfect, true, especially what you all shared tonight about living in California. We've got to hold on to what we have, and that means we've got to work together. Okay, then, unless there's anything else that needs to be said, I guess motion to adjourn. Have a motion to adjourn. Second, all in favor? Aye. Aye. Okay, you're dismissed. Thank you so much for being here.
Shelley Vanderbilt. I'd like for y'all to consider, like, I'd be happy to do vice. If you want me to do vice, I'd be happy to do that. I have so much trouble keeping up with everything, and keeping up with stuff in the business. They think my church and keep on. Making me real
Sounds good to me.
I feel like I've done a good job.
You have done an excellent
I feel like I've kept track of it really good, but I wouldn't have if it hadn't been for her reminding me. She said, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. If I hadn't had her, it would have been better. She said she'd be happy with it.
Well, that's definitely, sounds good to
She's
me.
a great person. And she's, the thing about it is, I like to help. Anybody needs a treasure. Just put it bluntly, needs to have a little bit of money themselves. You ain't gotta worry about somebody saying, well, so that's all you car. Somebody needs to have, because they're well on their way.
That sounds good to me all around. Elected officials.
Yeah, this new blood get on the executive committee. That's who I had on my board. And that boy sat here in the front row in Virginia.
Today,